This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we have the Bosch Dishwasher that keeps draining no matter what we do. We turn on the power and then we hear the drain motor right away. It won't fill, it won't circulate, it just keeps draining. We press the drain reset button, same thing, it just keeps draining. This is caused by some water that's leaked into the lower tray below the dishwasher. So we remove the kick panel. Now we're removing the metal cover that covers the bottom drip tray. So we're having to take out two 15 Torx screws, one on the right and one on the left. And it's a little bit hard to get in there, so I'm using a little angle tool. So I got the screws out and pulled out the cover. Now I'm reaching with my finger. I got the power off. Make sure the power is off. I'm feeling that it's wet in there. So some water has leaked into this lower tray. And what I do next is to open the door and to disconnect the mounting brackets on the upper left and upper right sides that are holding the dishwasher in place. Got to make sure we have the power off, make sure we have the water off. Now I'm going to pull the dishwasher forward and tilt it to about 30 to 45 degrees to let all that water pour out of the lower drip tray. I have to have a towel or something to catch the water. And once I have all the water out, I'll go ahead and just push the dishwasher back in level again, back into position, and I'll put the two mounting screws on the upper right and upper left back into position, and I'll turn on the power and I'll turn on the water and give it a test. But once I got all the water out, it should operate normal. It should fill back up and start circulating the water. And then we have to just figure out why it was leaking in the first place. My suspicion is that the fill valve was not fully closing and letting a little water leak in. So here I'm just doing a little maintenance. I'm removing the upper spray arm by turning the little nut just a quarter turn to the left, and I'm pulling it apart, trying to see if there's any junk caught in it. So we see there's some food particles caught in these ports, and there's a little bit here on the nut, so we're going to clean those up. I'm also, while I'm at it, I'm going to remove the lower spray arm just by pulling straight up. I can see there's some food pieces caught in those spray arms, those ports too. I'll clean that. I'll clean the filter. When I have it open, what I'm going to do is mark the water level inside the sump. I'm going to just put a little scratch mark in there so I can see the water level. And after I get done cleaning these pieces, I'll come back and see if that water level has gone up higher. If it has, that means that fill valve is leaking, and that's why the lower tray got flooded. I just have to replace the fill valve. So I'm just going to look where I put the mark, and that will show me after a few minutes if the water's gone up. I know I have a little bit of a problem with the leaking fill valve, and I'll have to replace it. So now it's just some good maintenance to do with the Bosch dishwasher. I pull the filter apart just by pulling straight up, and I'm going to just clean all these with a brush. You could use an old toothbrush if you're fine. And get some hot water. Just use agitation to get all the food debris off. These dishwashers do really well if you rinse your dishes before you put them in. The Bosch and the Miele don't do very well if you put a lot of food debris on your dishes, because it just gets pushed past the filter often and into the spray arms and clogs them, and then they can't clean the dishes very well. So it's just cleaning up the filter. And now I'm going to grab that little nut that holds the upper spray arm on. Clean that. And put the filter back together again. Push it, align it, and push it straight in. It'll clip into place. Give it a low pressure. That one's done. Now here we have the upper spray arm. Oh, I'm sorry, lower spray arm. I'm going to take off this part so that I can get and clean it better. So I just pry that off. I'm going to run water in there, and then use a little pick here to push that debris back into the spray arm. It gets caught in the jets or in the ports. I'm going to push it back in, and then I'll run water in and then tilt the spray arm back and forth until the debris gets carried out by the water. It'll just fall right off the middle part. And I just keep doing that until I can get all the debris out. If you shake the spray arm, you may hear little pieces of glass or porcelain shaking around. And sometimes if you just shake it back and forth a bunch of times, finally all that stuff will come out. So this is actually on the lower spray arm. What we have to do is put the water in, then turn it upside down, and then run it back and forth so the water can pull the junk out. This is the upper spray arm. So it's pretty much the same procedure. Just push the junk down with the pick. You can also try to pull the junk out too if you need on those pliers or tweezers, but usually I just push it back into the spray arm and then use the water to help carry it out. This can make a big difference on how well your dishwasher will clean the dishes. Because if these holes are clogged, the mechanical action of the water hitting the dishes and the utensils can't happen. It's really critical that all these holes are nice and clear. And if you rinse your dishes, you probably do this once a year. If you don't rinse your dishes, you probably need to do this about once a month. All right, we're just going to hit that a couple times, shake it around, see if there's anything caught in there still. You can hear something rattling around, so I'm going to try and knock that thing out. Got to be persistent, but it does pay off because it'll do such a good job washing your dishes. You're going to put that nut back into position. It only goes in one way, all the way. The other way doesn't work. This way doesn't work. So keep playing with it until you get the right way where it fits in flush. We're going to open up the door, take the upper tray out. We're going to push it back up into position and then just do a quarter turn, either to the right or the left. It'll lock it into position. There we go. We just test it, make sure it can spin. We're going to reassemble this little spout onto the lower spray arm. Just got to have it catch and then push it in real strong with your fingers until it clicks. Got it. We'll put our filter assembly back in first. I was looking at the water level after all the cleaning. It had gone up just a fraction, like half a centimeter beyond where it was. So there may be a leaking fill valve that isn't fully closing. So you want to make sure you line up that filter so it locks into position. Got the lower spray arm back in and the dishwasher's back working. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance.